What's going on, guys? In today's video, it's going to be all about cable management. I'm actually doing a more of a permanent setup in my office, and in an attempt to make things look aesthetically pleasing, I realized that I have to finally stop stalling and get to my cable management. And I know a lot of you guys are too. So instead of me doing this kind of behind the scenes, I thought I'd make a video and give you guys kind of a blueprint on how to cable manage like a pro if you want to take the 30 minutes to do it. But first and foremost, let me show you guys what you're going to need in order to follow the blueprint that I'm about to set out. First and foremost, you're going to need some Velcro cable ties. Don't have to be these ones, but I will link everything that I'm using down below. You can just pick it up off Amazon. These were a good deal, and they came with like 70 of them, I believe, 50 of them. This came with like 50 of them, so I just picked those up. And then also I got these cable clips. So these have like 3M on the back, and you can kind of stick them and dock the cables to the side or back side of the desk. That way the cables don't fall down and they kind of stay in place, which is really nice for like phone chargers and things like that. You're going to need the classic zip ties. Now I have two different sizes. These small zip ties are going to be obviously if I'm using small or just a few little cables. Also a little bit of a medium-sized black zip tie to match in case I'm dealing with a full bundle of cables or something on my surge protector. You're going to want black drywall screws. This way you can kind of permanently mount things to the wall or to the underside of the desk. And then last but not least, I actually picked up, these are like 10 feet long. You can always cut them, but they're cable sleeves. So basically, if you have multiple cables running down, instead of having like 4 or 5 cables, kind of looks like spaghetti even zip tied together, kind of looks ugly. These things just kind of open up here like this, and then you can wrap it around multiple different cords, and that way it just kind of looks like one clean cable there underneath. And if mounted properly, you almost won't even notice it. So that's what I'm using for today's setup. You could also use cable channels or things like that you can pick up at Home Depot, but go ahead and follow along. And if you guys want to, like I said, pick up any of this stuff, linked in the description below. If you happen to be new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if this video is useful to you whatsoever, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so let me go ahead and show you guys a before and after. So this is the desk setup. You can see there's various electronics, everything from audio, lighting. I usually have a camera rig back there, a laptop, monitor, some gaming stuff, the PS5, speaker cables, phone chargers, just general stuff someone would have on their desk. Let me show you down below. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Not only do I have my gaming setup, my computer, all my, streaming gear, my cameras, lighting, audio, but I also have different various lights, like those ones you see in the corner. Those are my venue lights. I have the LED lights up there, more LED studio lights there, things like that. So I have a little bit more cables maybe than the average person, but I think a lot of your guys' desk setups probably look like that, but it's just like tucked under the bed, if you will. So let me show you guys my strategy and what I'm gonna do. First things first, we're gonna wanna get everything unplugged, laid out, and identified. So we're gonna do that step right now. All right, so as you can see, I got most of those cables out of there. They're laid out here on the ground, easy to identify, so I know what goes where. Next up, we're gonna need our surge protector. As you can see, I have mine there. A couple things on it. Not only does it have a lot of different plugs there, which is great, it has a power cleaner, surge protector, and it's got quite a long cable, which is black. That's great. Again, not super necessary, but it's definitely gonna help out for our purposes. So next up, we're gonna wanna take that surge protector, and I'm gonna wanna mount it on the underside of this desk somewhere. That way all the cables coming from electronics on top have somewhere to go. We're not going to want to put it on the wall in this case because, as you'll notice, this desk actually has wheels on the bottom, and I want to be able to move my desk out if need be. And if we were to, for example, mount that surge protector on the wall, as soon as you start pulling the desk away from the wall, all that's going to happen is you're going to have every one of these cables pulling all at the same time. Don't want to do that, so I'm going to mount that on the desk. All the cables sitting on top of the desk are going to run on the underside of the desk, and then the only cable that'll pull away from the wall if the desk is moved is that long extension cable that you see attached to the surge protector. So let's go ahead and mount that up right now. Now that we have our surge protector bolted underneath the side of the desk, I'm gonna go ahead and start some of the other cable management. So what I'm gonna do is figure out where exactly I want all the cables coming out for all the electronics. And then I'm gonna put clips on the sides and underneath the desk. That way it can hold things like my iPhone charger in place, for example. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use those Velcro straps, and I'm gonna start binding everything together. We'll round it off with some zip ties as I showed you. And then also we'll go ahead and throw the finished product into the cable sleeves so we can make it look nice, pretty, and uniform. It'll kind of look like one cable being pulled rather than a whole bundle of cables under there. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's see how it turns out. All right, as you guys can see, here we have the grand reveal and the cable management is done. I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. Didn't really take me that long, probably, 2 hours tops total time. And as you guys can see, it looks really clean. I'm gonna give you all sorts of different angles and kind of walk you through what's going on here, but let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, I'll give you this down low view. You can see not flawless, not perfect, but definitely blends in, definitely looks uniform, and that's what makes it look neat and nice. The other thing that does help is the bottom of my desk. It's all powder coated black. The wall's black, the carpet's dark, and then I got cable covers that look uniform to go over all the cables, and those blend right into the wall. So when you're standing up back here like this, you really don't even notice that there's cables there. You don't even almost notice that there's legs on the desk there. So it just kind of looks like a floating shelf, which is a really cool effect. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with things that are permanent. The number one thing that we did, we went ahead, I'll show you under here. We mounted up the surge protector. I actually just bolted in 2 screws into the bottom of this wooden desk here, and that's gonna go ahead and keep everything up off the ground nice and tidy. I put cable covers over all the cables, and I'll show you some up close stuff of that. A couple things that help here. Everything's mounted on the desk. As you can see, all of my hardware accessories I'm using here, lights, microphones, my camera stand, my monitor, everything is actually mounted on the desk. Doing that helps me get a little bit of a cleaner aesthetic, keeps everything nice, tight, uniform. Everything's not moving too much. I do have the ability to adjust things, but it does allow me to kind of lock the cables down where they need to be. Speaking of that, if I do have things that are adjustable, movable, I go ahead and I use these. So these have a 3M double-sided tape, and so I just stick them on here. And as you can see, things like, so this is my audio cable for my USB mic. This obviously needs to move a lot, so I can't really do too much with this because I need to actually unclip that and plug it in quite frequently when I'm filming. Dongle attachment, this is something I use all the time, and since I don't have physical drawers on the desk, I'm gonna go ahead and put that there. Again, this is just another accessory I use for filming and things like that. This is my phone charger. This obviously actually needs to be loose. I tried to give it the effect that it was nice, tidy, and tight, but really what I did underneath is I used 2 more of these, stuck them under there, because now check out what I can do. I can pull it out, or I can tuck it back in like this, and it looks nice and tidy from the top. So just trying to keep everything nice. My light, I actually move a lot. So this one was tough because it has a power brick and it has multiple cables. I tried the best I could to, and you can see the power brick actually under here. I kind of just tucked it under there. I utilized this mount for leverage and just kind of Velcroed the rest of it just to make it look as clean as possible. Really the only cable that is tethering me to the wall is the cable for the actual surge protector, and you can see that I ran that down the leg, ran it behind there, and then plugged it into the wall. That's really nice because I can actually pull my desk completely out. I can raise the desk up utilizing this little lever crank here, or drop it down, and that's just gonna keep things really nice and mobile, which is good if you're filming or doing anything like that. And then a couple of my hardware accessories here, like the microphone and the monitor in particular, they actually have built-in cable channels, so when you're, searching for those type of things, it's nice. I don't have to wrap Velcro all around this and make it look ugly. Looks nice and and clean just because of the cable channel. And again, actually behind this monitor, let me see if I can show you here. There is a built-in cable channel, so that can house power cables, HDMIs, all sorts of things right within that arm, and that keeps it tidy and nice. And then obviously that is a full motion swivel mount, so I just pop that right back there like that, pop my Astro A50s back in place, and we're good to go again. And it just keeps everything nice and tidy. All right guys, that is gonna wrap up today's video on some cable management. If you found value in it, please hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, and give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna be doing a full office tour to show you guys not only what I film with, how I capture audio, my lighting setup, my full desk setup, all those types of things, camera rigs, gimbals, lenses, camera bodies, the whole nine. And you're gonna see the new carpet tiles I put on the ground, the LED lighting, like the entire spectrum of this office and how I create content in an upcoming video in the next week or two here. So make sure, like I said, you come back and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss it. For any products that you want to see me review on the channel next, please let me know down in the comment section below. And until I see you guys on next week's video, we out.